What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Jason, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 different ways you can hit the heavy bag. Let's face it, maybe you go to the gym all the time, but you find yourself just sticking to the same old workout routine, just jab cross, maybe a little push-ups and burpees here and there. So in this video, we're going to talk about 5 different methods you can do to spice up your routine. All right guys, so the first way to change up your heavy bag routine is use the heavy bag to practice your shrugs and your frames. A lot of the times I just see people fighting from a distance, which is fine. It's definitely important to understand distance management, but what I don't often see people do is utilize their short range, close range, and fighting in the pocket. And when you do end up fighting in the pocket, there's going to be a lot of shoulder bumps, there's going to be a lot of shoves. So use a heavy bag for that. So it could just be as simple as, holding out a frame, holding out your jab arm, holding out like an elbow. And I'm not saying to go out there and elbow if you're doing boxing. If it's a Muay Thai, if it's MMA, by all means, but just sticking out your forearm like so. Every now and then when you're in the pocket and you land a close range shot, you can just hit a little shoulder bump, kind of that Philly shell style that you would see Floyd Mayweather do. All right guys, so the second way you can change up your heavy bag routine is by working the clinch. Okay, even though if you're in boxing, in real world combat, people are going to be pulling, grabbing, pushing. So working some form of clinch is essential. So that can be achieved by just looping both hands around the bag. If you can't really grab, if you don't have the correct type of gloves, just using forearm pressure is fine. And just getting a grip of the bag, learning how to maneuver it, and from there you can just work your stuff. Close range elbows, you got knees all day, short little punches here and there. So guys, work the clinch. Even if you're a boxer, people still like to paw down and move around. So work the clinch, guys. So another way, guys, you can change up your heavy bag routine, and this might come to a surprise to many of you, is to use the bag as a grappling tool. You can work double leg depending on the length of the bag. Usually those kickboxing bags that go all the way down, you can really dive deep, shoot in for a shot, and just drive forward. That's one way. In my case, for the Aqua Bag, I was just practicing entries for a basic ogoshi or a hip toss, and you can just simulate that, because the more you visualize, the more you try to simulate, you're just becoming a more well-rounded martial artist in the process. So the heavy bag is not just meant to be for hitting, although that is its main function. You can use it for grappling as well. So just try out a few entries. Obviously you're not going to take the bag down. It's more for entering and the initial position. All right fellas, moving on. The next way you can change up your heavy bag routine is to practice ducks. Okay, ducking, bobbing, and weaving. Now I have the advantage of having an Aqua Bag, so I can fully get underneath. I can really get deep and go low as I want. But if you have a standard heavy bag, obviously you're not going to be doing the limbo on that. So what you can do is just practice your head movement, trying to bob, weave, imagine, visualize, and just simulate close range. Okay, if you're too close to the bag, that's almost as if you're too close to a strike. So what would you do? You'd either dip forward, bob, weave, duck, just working defense. But in my case, I have a beautiful Aqua Bag, so I'm able to go all the way under, which is another reason why I love the Aqua Bag. So that's another way you can change up your routine. It's not just about hitting or kicking, guys. Work the bobs, work the weaves, work the slips, work those kind of entries in, those little pump fakes. And if you do have somewhat of an Aqua Bag or a high hanging bag, by all means, get all the way under. Moving on to the last way you can change up your routine, and you might have guessed it, and this is where everything comes full circle. It's to do all those things at once. I mean, literally not once, but incorporate all those methods in your round. So the last round, after you've practiced all of those individually, you can start stringing them together, chaining your technique. So you might start off from a distance, working your jab, and eventually you get in closer. You might stick out an elbow, or if you're really in the pocket, if you're in tight, hit a shoulder bump. Then you might go for a little clinch with some knees. After the clinch, you might feel like you have the opportunity to throw your opponent. So from there, you would work your ogoshi, or, you know, shooting your shot. You know, also working defense from your exit. You just don't want to work all offense. After every kind of punch, combination, or flow, you want to imagine your exit plan. So whether that be kind of dipping forward, bobbing, ducking, or, you know, getting really low, you got to think about all those facets of the fight game. Just a final word of advice is just to be creative. You know, don't listen to everybody who's like, oh man, you got to like keep your hands up all the time. By all means, when you're a beginner, you definitely want to learn like good fundamentals. But if you look at all the best strikers, you know, throughout history, regardless of style, they fight with a low guard. It's very rare that you see someone just hands tight like this all day, all night. Okay, and that's highly unlikely. You want to be able to, you know, fight from wherever, whenever, and that's how you're gonna change things up on the heavy bag, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Os.